So, this is Frosthaven. I have streamed something like 40 hours of this in the last week, I think. And I would like to teach you the basic rules of the game. Because you should all come hang out for these streams. This is like if Slay the Spire met XCOM, and my channel is full of people who like Slay the Spire and XCOM. So, here we go. Why is the mouse golden in the zoom view? I have no idea. Oh, I think it's because the mouse has rotating RGB colors and it happened to be on golden at that time. Allow me to introduce you to one of my characters. This is Verna. Verna, the human banner spear. See how she has a banner with a spear on it? I'm in the process of painting models. I'm not incredible at painting or anything. Verna is not completely painted yet. That's fine. So how a character works is Verna gets to bring 10 cards into a mission. And Verna's cards look like this, for example. It says, at all costs. A card has a top half, that would be this half, the one on top, and a bottom half. And every turn you get to play the top half of one of your cards and the bottom half of another one of your cards. So I could use the top half of at all costs to heal all of my allies, 3 health, but I would take 1 damage for each ally whose hit point value increased with heal ability. And then this says I get 1 experience for doing that. Yay, you get experience from playing your cards. Or I could use the bottom half of it to summon a reinforcement. We call this man Charles Reinforcement. Charles has 1 health, 2 move, cannot attack. Basically, Charles Reinforcement gets summoned, gets attacked by something, dies, and that's his job. Thank you, Charles Reinforcement, for all that you do. Down here it says we get 1 experience for doing that, and also says that the card persists until it doesn't persist anymore. Then it goes in my discard pile. So that is one of the cards that we have. Let me give you an example of another card. Here's a Javelin. Javelin's a bit more straightforward. Javelin deals 3 damage at up to 3 range. When I do it, I channel an air element, which might get used by another card to enhance the card's effect. So like the top half of Pinning Charge says if I consume an air element, I get an extra range on the attack and it will immobilize the enemy who I'm shooting at, for example. And the bottom half of Javelin says I can move 1 and then push something in 3 range of me 2 tiles. Wow, I don't know if I'd ever actually read that card properly before. I thought it was only things that were adjacent to me. Anyway, so that's like kind of what Verna does. I think this turn I'm going to play at all costs, top half of card to make all of my allies have more health, and the bottom half of set for the charge. The other thing that I haven't, I guess, explained properly about cards yet is this number in the middle, the 6. That's the initiative value of the card. And you can choose one of your 2 cards to be your initiative value for the turn. Lower numbers go faster. So this turn, I want Verna to move fast and play the top half of at all costs to heal allies. The reason for that is that Sam, who is character number 2, Verna has 11 health, Sam has 1 health, and is wounded. Wound deals you 1 damage at the start of each of your turns. So Sam has to work out some way to not die, and Verna healing him before he actually takes his turn is going to be crucial to that. At the moment, I am like half-ish of the way through a mission where there is a terrifying beast who is waking up, and we have to prepare a stew for it so that it will be satisfied and go back to sleep. It's a very cute mission. It's like an optional mission in the campaign. The campaign is, I mean, the game itself ships with like 140 different missions or something like that. This is kind of like XCOM Long War, except more. Our characters are Verna, and Verna has some summons. So Verna has a yellow base, and Verna's summons are half blue, which means ally, and half yellow, which means Verna. This is a banner of strength. The banner of strength makes all allies within 2 range get +1 damage on one of their attacks each turn. Then we have Sam, who I just mentioned, is about to die. Sam is like our tank. Sam is a drifter who does a little bit of brawling and stuff like that. Sam is usually the person who has to open doors for us, which results in nasty stuff like this polar bear attacking him. The enemies, by the way, are polar bears are red bases. Frost wraiths, who are new for me, are orange bases. And then snow imps, who are kind of pesky but don't deal too much damage by themselves. They're kind of support creatures, are the purple bases. So yeah, that's Sam. Sam is a drifter. Then we have Harper, the Bone Shaper. Harper, I have, for the most part, completed a paint job on. Way to go, me. Harper summons a bunch of skeletons and stuff. At the moment, we have a Wraith summoned. Wraith is a ranged summon. We do not currently have any skeletons summoned. They tend to die pretty quickly. I'm playing up to difficulties from recommended difficulty, so yeah. The purple bases look a lot like white to you. That's fair. I don't have white used for anything, so I don't know that it shouldn't matter. If you think of them as white, that's basically the same. And then we have Lyle, who is a Deathwalker. Lyle does some pretty fun stuff. So Lyle has this shadow mechanic where I place shadows around the map. I can place up to 5 of them. This is a shadow tile. That's like the shadow icon. The other 4 are not currently in play, but if they were, this is what they are. And then the shadows let me do a variety of weird things. One of Lyle's coolest cards is the bottom half of... Wait, where is it? Where'd it go? The bottom half of Deepening Despair, I think, for me, is the coolest thing Lyle has. So top half deals some damage, and you can see it deals 4 damage to an enemy at any range away from us, but the enemy has to be adjacent to at least 2 shadows. So like the shadows decide where I can attack from and stuff like that as well. But also the bottom half, you and all allies may treat each hex with a shadow as being adjacent to each other hex with a shadow during move abilities this round, which is really cool. It lets me like teleport my way out of a mission or something like that. So I'm leaving a shadow near the start. I started it up here so that I can teleport everyone back to it from the end of the map, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to go collect an ingredient for the stew and then need to go back to the place where we're making the stew. But I don't actually know that for sure, I guess. Anyway, you're going to start your digital Gloomhaven for the 2nd time ever. Yeah, so my Frosthaven journey was I played another game that I don't remember the name of, which is like party-based combat board game cooperative. I played a mission of that at the games event that I do monthly in Seattle, and I had a lot of fun. And I was like, I should try playing more of these games. So I booted up Gloomhaven Digital when I got home and was like, this actually is kind of a lot of fun. And then I think I played it for like 8 hours or something. And then my girlfriend saw that I was enjoying it a lot and bought me Frosthaven, the board game, because my girlfriend just does really nice things for me sometimes. I don't know. So then I spent a long time working out how to stream this, and now we're here. I've been having a ton of fun with it. It's like the amount of fun that I had with XCOM Long War the first time I found it. It's really, really been good. So Sam has played all of his cards. Sam starts with 12 cards. It is currently the beginning of turn 7. So you play 2 cards a turn, 12 cards. That means I'm out of cards. So I have to get them back. I have 2 cards here. One of these is Continuous Health and the other is Crushing Weight. And you can probably see on that camera view there are like circles here, and I have tokens going through them. So these do stuff. These do things 6 times and then are expended. This one makes my next 6 heals add 2 more health. This one makes my next 6 melee attacks add +2 damage. So that's where those 2 cards are. I have 10 cards in my discard pile. And my options for getting these cards in my discard pile back are I can short rest, which means I lose one of the cards at random. and get the other 9 back. Or I can long rest. If I long rest, I basically burn my entire turn. But I not only get to choose which card I lose, I also gain 2 health, and I get to refresh my items. I haven't even talked about this, but my characters all have like items as well. These are their hand items, boots, armor, helmet, and then small items like potions. So I can choose to long rest or short rest. In Sam's case, he would be getting an Amulet of Life back and Winged Shoes back. Winged Shoes let him jump for 1 move, like move over obstacles and enemies. And Amulet of Life heals him for 1, although he has continuous health, so actually it would be 3 in his case. Tactical fantasy combat is Jorbs' love language. Yeah, basically. I think, though, I'm just going to short rest. This is a situation where we have 4 enemies doing things, and taking the turn off feels a little iffy. So, to get a random card out of 10, I'm going to roll a d10. 2. 1, 2. So I'm losing Shockwave. Shockwave, on your next 6 melee attacks, targeting an enemy adjacent to any other enemy. 1 enemy adjacent to the target suffers 2 damage. So it makes my melee attack splash, or the bottom half of it lets me move and have a shield. At 17 initiative, it's pretty quick. I can reroll that if I want. So I pay 1 health to reroll. Oh, I'm at 1. Okay, I'm not going to reroll it. All right. So Sam short rested. We have lost Shockwave. And then I need a turn for Sam. The way that enemies decide their targeting is they target the closest person of my team. It's actually like pretty complicated how they decide targeting, but basically they target the closest person on my team that they can target, and they tiebreak by initiative. They'll target the lower initiative person on my team over the higher initiative person on my team. So I have Verna, my banner spear. I'm planning to tank with Verna, and I have her moving at 6 initiative. So as long as Sam doesn't move faster than 6 initiative, he shouldn't get killed here. I would hope. Because Verna will get hit instead. And we are also getting a little bit of healing from Verna. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottom half of Vile Assault, which lets me move and heal myself for 2. A little bit of health back. And then I can use the top half of a card before that happens. So maybe we use the top half of... The polar bear has 20 health? Yikes. Maybe the top half of Fortitude. Just a melee attack for 3, basically. The guys are kitted out. Yeah, I've played like 10 missions or something. We're level... Most of us level 3, except for Lyle, who's level 2. And we have, for the most part, filled our equipment slots with some sort of item. Okay, so we have cards for Sam. Next, Harper. Harper also starts with 12 cards, so Harper is also needing to reclaim cards this turn. I think, again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In Harper's case, we have 11 cards in discard, and then the 12th is here. That's the Wraith. Which means if we short rest, we get 5 turns before the next time we have to reclaim. That seems good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Harper is at 5 health, so if we don't like this, we can re-roll it. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're losing Returned Servant. It's a 4-move summon skeleton. That's okay. I have 3 other summon skeletons in my deck, so losing this one isn't the end of the world. And for Harper's turn, I think I want to go after Lyle. Actually, I don't know what I want to do. Summon a skeleton? Summon a skeleton is not terrible. Heal an ally? I don't have any elements currently to use to help me heal an ally. So I'm looking at like Fell Remedy. Fell Remedy gets a lot more powerful if I have Earth or Darkness to consume when I cast it. I probably just make a skeleton. I think I'm going to go for Transfer Essence bottom half. This heals an ally in 3 range for 5, but deals 2 damage to me. And I'm going to go for top half of Life and Death, which will just summon a skeleton. It also deals 2 damage to me. So I'm going from 5 health currently down to 1, although I get 3 health from Verna this turn. It'll actually be on 4, which isn't too bad. And I'll channel a Dark Element for next turn. And I'm going to intentionally go slow enough. The imps I'm fighting will sometimes consume elements, like so. This one wants to consume any element to gain another target on its Dark Charm. I have sleeves that are anti-glare in the mail. They're just not here yet. I'll have those tomorrow, though, which will be nice. It'll be easier to see. I'm not going to resleeve these ones, but I'll resleeve all of the character cards. Actually, the glare's not as bad today as it was yesterday, though, I feel like. The columns for the elements are inert, waning, and strong. So when you channel an element, it goes to strong. You can't use it on your own character's turn when you make the element. Like, I can't channel dark and use the other half of a different card to use the dark immediately, but the character after that can use it. So it's in strong, and then at the end of the turn, it becomes waning. While it's waning, it's still in a place where a character can use it. Anyone who uses it consumes it, and it's gone. Back to inert, by the way. So you can only use each of them once before they're back to inert. And yeah, it just goes strong, end of turn becomes waning, end of turn becomes inert. Unless it gets used at some point earlier, in which case it becomes inert faster. All right. Eoseth. Then we have Lyle. Lyle starts with 11 cards, but I have a stamina potion, which reclaims a card. So after 6 turns, I've played 12 cards, which means it's time to reclaim because I used a stamina potion to get the 12th card on my first cycle through my cards, basically. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I also have 11 cards. What card did I consume? Oh, no. I just said I start with 11 cards. All right, so I have all of my cards in here. Lyle has 8 health. Seems very reasonable for Lyle to just short rest then. So we're rolling a D11 again, basically. This is a D12, but close enough. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does the base game come with 4 heroes or more? Oh, you sweet summer child. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 6 heroes unlocked when you start a campaign. There are another 11 that you can unlock over the course of the campaign. I don't know how to do that for all of them. So far, I have unlocked 2 more heroes, and I've seen another one that I could unlock and failed to do so. I have unlocked, I think this is called the Frozen Fist. Look at that, chonkers. He's huge. And I have unlocked the Vermling Trapper. He was a little cutie. Tiny. Yeah, the game has a lot of game in it. Anyway, so I'm losing Lingering Rot. That's what we decided. I could re-roll it. I think I'm okay with losing Lingering Rot, though. It's fine. Probably not the one I would most like to have lost, but it's all right. So with Lyle, I am thinking... let's play the bottom half of Call to the Abyss to place another shadow down. Ooh. Actually, maybe this is a decent moment to use Eclipse. Yeah. So Eclipse is a card that I only get to use the top half of once. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, but you can always use the top half of a card to attack for 2, and you can always use the bottom half of a card to move 2. So the top half of Eclipse says place 3 shadows and hexes within 3 range, channel dark, and then this says lose the card. So now that I've gotten through one cycle of my cards, I think it's okay to start losing some of the best cards in order to just get more output. So that's going to be the top half of my cards, and then for the bottom half of my cards, I'm going to go for Anger of the Dead, which is going to make all enemies occupying a hex with a shadow take a wound, and also whenever an enemy enters a hex with a shadow this round, it gains a wound. So I'm going to play Eclipse, and then I'm going to play Anger of the Dead and wound the polar bear, and hopefully these will run up, and they will also get wounded, at least 1 or 2 of them. So that's going to be my turn. So how we go through our turns now is I order my characters by their initiative. So my Banner Spear is moving at initiative 6, my Deathwalker is moving at initiative 11, my Drifter is moving at initiative 31, and my Bone Shaper is moving at initiative 62. And then we roll the dice to see what the enemies are doing. You actually, like, the game is set up for you to shuffle their deck and draw cards from it, but I have been enjoying having the decks face up so I can see what the options are as I'm learning the enemies. So first I'm going to roll for the Ice Wraith, which is up here. It's going to Shard Strike. At 16 initiative, it is going to make an attack for 3 at range 4, which means it'll just stand here and shoot whichever of my people are in the doorway, basically. So it is going after my Deathwalker, before my Drifter. Next, let's look at the Polar Bear. The Polar Bear rolled a 6, so it's going to be doing Rampage. Rampage says it attacks for 1 less than usual, then it moves, then it attacks for 1 less than usual again. So it is attacking twice. It's moving at 80 initiative, so very slowly after all of my people go. And then finally, we have the Snow Imp. The Snow Imps, plural. What are they doing? They have 7 cards in their deck. 8 is a reroll then. Wait, no, actually, when I roll a d8 for this, I'm doing that. Calculated Strike. They're doing Calculated Strike. They're going to move 1 less than their usual move. Here, I'll show you the card, because this one's easy to show you. They're going to move 1 less than their max move, and they are going to attack for 1 more than usual at range of 3. Overall, I feel like this was not incredible for me. This is at initiative 76, so they're going before the Polar Bear, but after my Bone Shaper. I feel like, in general, they're just kind of dealing a bunch of damage to me, and I don't love that. That's how I feel about this. I do get to move my people first, though. I played the Slay the Spire board game. Yes, actually, the reason that I have all this set up is that I set up a capture for Slay the Spire board game. I'll probably play more of it at some point. All right, so first, Verna is going to use the bottom half of Set for the Charge to move up into the doorway. When I move onto this tile, there was loot on it from an enemy dying here earlier. So I now have loot that I will grab at the end of my turn. That's the bottom half of Set for the Charge done. And then the top half of At All Costs. It gives me an experience, and it heals all allies, and I take 1 damage for every ally who gains health. So Lyle's already at max HP. Harper goes up to 8, which is max HP. Actually, Lyle's max HP is 9, right? No. It's only 8. I was correct, because Lyle's only level 2. When I heal Sam, the wound is removed. Sam goes up to 4 health. And I take 2 damage down to 9. And that is Verna's turn. All right. Next up is my Deathwalker. Lyle, who, like I said, is going to use Eclipse. How do you like the transition to tabletop? You personally enjoy it just as much as the video game? I prefer it. I really enjoyed not sitting at a computer. So I get to place 3 shadows. I'm going to place them into this next room. Like so. Got a bunch of shadows there now. And then I'm going to use the bottom half of Anger of the Dead to make all enemies occupying a hex with shadow have a wound. Which is fine. Wound makes the polar bear take 1 damage at the start of its turns. It has 20 health, so, I mean, I have to kill it somehow. Alright. Now Sam. So Sam is going to use the top half of Fortitude to deal 3 damage plus 2 from Crushing Weight, which makes each melee attack of mine deal 2 more damage. I have, I think, 3 more procs on that. So I get an experience for advancing it. This attack has 2 piercing, but the enemy doesn't have shield anyway. And Sam has a curse in his deck, so because I put a curse in this, I didn't want to like reshuffle the deck every time I put a curse in it, so I just have a dice on it to remind me. I have to roll a die to randomize which card I draw from it, instead of being able to just draw the top card. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are only 15 cards in there. 13, 15, 14, 13. We got a -1. So this is a modifier on our attack damage. The enemy has poison on it, which is a +1. So we started at 5, +1, -1. We end up dealing 5. And the polar bear goes to 15 health. And then I know that the enemies are not going to be attacking Sam if Sam just stands here. Because I've seen what they're doing this turn. They're all going to attack Verna. Which, like, isn't the best, but it is true. So that means I'm less inclined to actually move away with Sam. So I don't have to move with the bottom half of Vital Assault. I can just not do the move and then heal myself for 2. Which gets me up to 8 health. Because the heal for 2 is actually a heal for 4, thanks to continuous health. Which I get an experience for advancing. You get an experience every other time you advance these cards. What is the initiative number effect other than the order of offense and enemy targeting? And what is the max amount? It's between 1 and 99, I believe. And I mean, there may be other things it affects, but that's most of it for right now. Oh shit, the Drifter actually goes after the Ice Wraith. So the Ice Wraith should have gone first. That's okay, not really a big deal. The Ice Wraith was attacking Verna for 3. The enemies also have curses in their decks. I'm rolling a dice to randomize their draw instead of reshuffling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a +1 on its attack. So it was a base of 3 +1. Hits for 4 and puts a curse into my deck. So now Verna also has a curse. Curses are irritating. Like, I could shuffle my deck every time that happens, and then I'd be able to draw from the top of the deck, but shuffling takes, like, time, and also ruins the sleeves. It's like work. Anyway. Verna has an item. Verna has a lot of items. One of Verna's items is Crude Chain Armor, which says when you suffer damage from an attack, gain 2 shield against the attack. Use it now, and instead of taking 4, I'll take 2. Actually, I'm gonna wait. I think that might be better later in the turn, having thought about it a bit more. Alright, that's the Ice Wraith. Now my Bone Shaper goes. First thing that happens when my Bone Shaper's turn is actually that the summons go slightly before my Bone Shaper. So we have a Wraith here, which is going to attack Polar Bear. It uses the same modifier deck as my Bone Shaper. It's going to attack for +2. So Wraith damage is base 1 +1 for this banner, which I forgot. Sam actually has that banner too. The banner gives +1 damage. So it's 1 +1 for the banner, +1 from poison, so 3 + 2 from this modifier is 5. It's a pretty good attack from a creature with 1 power. Okay, and then I have Life and Death. Like I said, this is going to summon a Shambling Skeleton. I get an experience for doing this. I also take 2 damage for doing it. There's another summon. My skeletons are called Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Summoning Huey first. Right here. Huey's not going to do much this turn. The summons don't really do anything the turn you summon them. And then we are transferring Essence. So I'm healing an ally for 5, dealing 2 damage to myself. I'm down to 4. Ouch. But Verna is up to 10. And I'm channeling a dark element. Somebody might be able to use next turn. And that's my turn. Okay. Now, the enemy has finished killing me. Schmammer! Thanks for the 9 months. Appreciate it. You don't know how many hundreds or thousands of hours you've spent watching me play Slay the Spire. Hey, I hope stuff goes well for you, Schmammer. Thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, 80 is quite slow in the turn order. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Verna gets a loot. So there's just a loot deck that you make at the start of every mission, and we just draw the top card from it. I got a coin. That is worth 3 gold. Even though it's 1 coin. Inflation is wild. Okay, anyway. Next up, the Snow Imps go. The Snow Imps are attacking at 3 range, which means they do have to move toward me. But they don't have to move far toward me. This is now in range of Verna. Snow Imp Elites, level 4, have base attack of 3 and apply Brittle when they hit, which is nasty. It's pretty nasty. So, base attack of 3. There are so few cards left in this deck. I think there's like 8. 6. One of them's a curse, right? Yes, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's also a crit and a crit hit and a crit fail in these cards. Got a +1. So that's hitting for 4 and applying Brittle. I mean, I guess there's not much I can do about that. There's a little bit I can do about it, but not tons. All right. Brittle means the next time I take damage, it is doubled. And then we have the next one go. So this one also has to get within 3 range to attack, and it can't stand on these tiles, and this is 4 range away, so it'll have to move again. And when it moves onto this shadow, it will take a wound because of Lyle's card that said until end of turn when enemies move onto shadows, they take a wound. So imp number 9 is wounded. Oh, they're strengthened. Okay, so they were meant to actually roll twice. Also 1, oh, that gets rid of the curse. That's unfortunate. Strengthen, it gets rid of the curse, but it doesn't, like, harm them in any way because they're basically rolling with advantage. They're drawing twice and taking the best one. Okay, the next one. It's attacking Verna, who is brittle now. There are 5 cards in this deck, so a crit hit or a crit miss is pretty likely. Card number 2. Oh, I don't think there are curses anymore either, so I could just be drawing from the top now. Oh, it's also strengthened. Okay, I know what the top card is now, so I guess I have to roll. Please, no crit hit. 4. We rolled 2 -1s. That's actually pretty incredible. All right. So 2 -1s. Am I wrong? Is this like now a crit hit and a crit miss? Yup. It is. Wow. How do you choose monster ability cards with a d6 considering drawn cards and shuffles? Well, if there are 6 remaining, I roll a d6, and then 1 is the lowest initiative and 6 is the highest initiative. If there are more, I roll a d8. Okay, so Verna is getting hit for 2. So I do have that crude chainmail, which I'm going to use now. I'm brittle, right? But with crude chainmail, I have 2 shield, so I get attacked for 0, which doubles to nothing. And I'm also using my crude shield, which prevents me from getting a status placed on me. So I'm not brittle. I'm not becoming brittle again. But now the polar bear goes. The polar bear's base damage is 5, and it's attacking twice. It takes 1 damage from its wound. Yay. It's actually down to 8 health. It's almost dead. But then it's going to murder me. There is a crit miss. There's also a crit hit. Let's hope for the crit miss. So I'm rolling a d4 at this point. 1. What's 1? 1 is the -1. Oh my god. So now there's only a crit hit and a crit miss in the deck. All right, I take 3. Is that right? No, it must be more than that. Calculated rampage. Oh yeah, it's base -1 attack. So 5 -1 is 4, -1 from the modifier is 3. Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll a d30. Does that work? 1 to 15 is the first card. 16 to 30 is the second card. I have rolled a 30. Absolute max for a crit miss. Woo! And the crit hit is the last card in the deck. So monsters, well, all decks reshuffle at the end of the turn when you drew a crit hit or crit miss. Oops. That want to do this. Also, at the end of the turn where you play Rampage, you reshuffle this deck, so all of these are back active. All right. Not even close. Not even close. I mean, that was pretty close. So what happens if you take, like, well, actually, anytime you take damage, you're allowed to lose 1 card to prevent it all, or lose 2 cards from your discard pile to prevent it all. So my expectation there was I was going to be losing a card to survive the turn. But we got a little bit lucky and used a bunch of defensive items and ended up surviving without having to lose a card, which is good. I'm at 3 health, which isn't a lot. But we can kind of like trade who tanks each turn, so Sam can be in charge of tanking this turn. And Sam's at 8, and Sam also still has a couple of defensive items, so he should do okay tanking for us. And then Verna can focus on dealing damage and killing the polar bear. But yeah, it's next turn. It is now turn 8. Nobody used the frost element, and the dark element is now waning. And I have to decide what I'm doing again. One of the cool things about this game is there's never really a complete break where, oh, that's untrue. When you finish a room, everything's empty until you open the next door. This is a door. I am not using the correct tile to signify that that's a door. But anyway, it is a door. I wonder where the door tiles are. I don't know. That one isn't one of them. I don't think. But yeah. There's just always kind of like more stuff to do, which is a lot of fun, I think. Grant 3 allies within 4 range, a move of 2. Can move the skeleton up? I could move myself back. I don't have wind. Moving the skeleton up so it gets to attack seems kind of nice. Also, I could just move out of the way. Could move out of the way, throw a javelin, and then the skeleton can just move here and attack. Let's actually, before I decide Verna's turn, let's look at what Lyle's doing with all of these shadows on the ground. Okay, so there's Call of Doom. Call of Doom deals a damage to all adjacent enemies, and if I consume Dark with it, it confuses them all. And I can perform the attack as if I were occupying a hex with a shadow. So I can hit all 4 of them, confuse them all, which gives them disadvantage on their attacks. That does not seem like a bad use of a turn to me. The polar bear is poisoned, so it'll take 1 more. I have the Banner of Strength, so that will deal another damage. I think I'm going to do that. And I would like to do that before they go, or else they're just going to, like, hit me before they're confused. So I'm going to use Deepening Despair. And I'll use the bottom half of that, but I'm just going to use the basic, like, move for 2 with the bottom half of that. Rather than using the bottom half that consumes the card for the rest of the mission, I can use that later instead. Is losing a card only for this combat or forever? Yeah, it's only for this mission. If you lose a mission, I'm like not playing with permadeath either. There is a mode where you can play with permadeath. Maybe for my next campaign, I'll play with permadeath. That could be fun. Is Harper really at 4? I guess so. All right. So I have to think. The polar bear's at 8 health and wounded. It's gonna, on average, take 3 from Lyle's turn. Then it takes another 3 from that. And I'll take damage from the skeleton. So I think... Okay, I want Verna to move back. So with Verna, I'm going to use Javelin, top half. It's a 3 damage range attack. And then I will use the bottom half of Head of the Hammer. Verna has a combat goal. I didn't even talk about this yet, but people get combat goals, which give them perks. And Verna's is Specialist. Never perform a basic action, which means I always want to be doing what the card says instead of like the attack for 2 or move for 2 basic stuff that's also available on the card. So in order to move, the other 2 cards that I have left are both grant allies moves, which don't get me out of the doorway. So I'm going to have to use the bottom half of Head of the Hammer in order for me to move. In theory, it also confuses all enemies at 1 range and channels me air, but neither of those are going to be useful because Javelin's already channeling air, and I'm not going to be next to any enemies, I don't think. Unless something weird happens with turn order, with the enemies doing something that I don't expect fast enough that it's messing with me. I think probably Sam can use Bloodletting with an expectation of killing the polar bear. Wait, what if I assumed that the polar bear was dead already? Its fastest move is 13? That's kind of fast. So I'm going to use the bottom half of Prudent Preparation, which heals something for 3. Or heal something for 2, rather. Although I'm healing for 2 more, so it will be a heal for 4 on something within 3 range. I'm going to use the bottom half of that and the top half of Bloodletting, which hopefully kills an enemy. And if I kill an enemy with it, I can move back a token on one of my persistent cards. So I get 1 more use of my heal. Bloodletting will be hitting for 7, and the enemy's on 8, and it's going to take damage from Call of Doom, so there's a pretty good chance that that'll be dead before my skeleton moves. There's a very good chance, actually. So if it's going to be dead before my skeleton moves, I could actually put the skeleton in the doorway. And the way I would do that is instead of Head of the Hammer, I would use Regroup. Grant 2 allies within 3 range, a move of 3. I get the skeleton into the doorway for me, and then the skeleton can tank for me a little bit. And I have Head of the Hammer for next turn, which could be useful, I don't know. And I guess I want my Necromancer to go fast enough that, like, slow enough that the skeleton will be moved up to attack things, but also fast enough to go before the skeleton is dead. So probably I'll use the bottom half of Foul Remedy, which is 30 initiative, which is kind of the best I can do. And there's a pretty good chance that that moves before enemies. Like, actually a very good chance. Looking at it some more. Yeah, that should be okay. And then I'll use the top half of, what, 4? Probably just use the top half of Damned Horde to make another skeleton. Keep the summons coming. Hey, Diggity, thanks for 45 months. Hope you're doing well. Comfy at home. Having a good day. All that good stuff. So we're going to go Deathwalker, then Drifter, then Banner Spear, and then Bone Shaper. So we're recovering from the trip. Diggity and Moletrap, who was here earlier actually, did some casting on a StarCraft Brood War LAN here in Seattle over the weekend, which is pretty cool. Like a very big StarCraft Brood War LAN for like StarCraft Brood War in North America these days. So I got to watch some of that. Yeah, it looked like a good time. I didn't realize Artosis was playing, but like, of course he was. It was like broadcast on Artosis's channel. Yeah, he went. He was playing. He was there. I don't know if he ever got in the commentary booth, or it looked like he like made it pretty far into the tournament. I think I watched the first like 4 or 5 hours. So I had fun with that. All right, let's roll for the Ice Wraith, which last turn used Shard Strike. Oh wait, Shard Strike actually would have consumed the Frost. It would have consumed the Frost and given it 2 Retaliate for the turn, which, like, sure, okay, that doesn't do anything. Doesn't change anything. 1, 2, 3 is going to use Unholy Strength. Unholy Strength will make it attack something at 3 range and give itself Strengthen and Bless if it can consume a Frost. Although currently there's no Frost element for it to use for that. All right, next, the Bear has 8 cards available. I rolled an 8. So it's going to Rampage again. Okay, at 80 initiative, hopefully it will be dead before that happens. I think that's very likely. And the Imps, I rolled a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to use Restoration. They're going to move, and then they're going to heal for 2 at 3 range. Restoration's a very weird card for Imps because when a ranged attacker has a move that isn't attached to a ranged attack, it moves as though it's a melee unit. So they're going to run at my face, and then they're going to heal themselves, I guess. Which is just a weird thing for ranged units to do. Anyway, it looks like overall this turn's not too threatening. So the Imps are going after all of my people. The Ice Wraith is going after the Imps, and the Polar Bear is going after the Ice Wraith. So I get all my moves in before they go, and most of them aren't even attacking me. All right, cool. So first things first, we have the Call of Doom on my Deathwalker, which is going to consume our Dark element. Did I advance the turn counter? I think I did. It doesn't actually matter. The turn counter doesn't mean anything here, but I try to keep it updated anyway. So Call of Doom is kind of weird because it's a melee attack, I believe, even though it's not in a tile adjacent to me, which means I can use Poison Dagger. So I'm going to use Poison Dagger here to apply poison to the Ice Wraith. The Ice Wraith has 2 shield. So weird. The Ice Wraith was also strengthened. I think I forgot that, but it seems like way too late to go back. Whoops. Snows were also strengthened, and they are no longer strengthened. Clerical error in my favor. Yeah, I think I'm going to poison the Ice Wraith. So I'm going to use my Poison Dagger to poison the Ice Wraith, and I'm going to roll for damage. Doesn't look like there's a curse on my deck, so I will just be able to flip the top modifier card. He commentated briefly, but after getting knocked out, he wanted to decompress and watch. Yeah, that's like super reasonable. All right, we got a +1. The base damage is 1. The enemy has 2 shield, so it takes 0. But it is now poisoned. This is Ice Wraith number 4. Okay, next we have Snow Imp number 7. I have a +0 on that. So it'll take 1. These have 8 starting health. So now it's at 7. They're not super tanky. The problem is, like, how do you get into the backlines to kill these squishy enemies? Especially since the enemies prioritize the model nearest to them. So if you like send one thing into the backline to kill them, they will just kill it and you. Yeah. Anyway. Then I have an attack on Snow Imp 9. I'm wondering if I should actually use the +1 damage from the banner on this. I think I will. Yeah, I'll use the +1 damage from the banner on this. I got a +1 on the roll as well. So that ends up being 3 damage. It is down to 5. And all of the enemies are confused this turn. I'm not going to bother marking that. I'm just going to remember. And the polar bear, I don't have +1 on the banner anymore. But we've got a base attack for 2 because of poison. I crit missed. Wait, I had a curse in my deck? Is that right? I don't think that's right. I feel like I left that in from last mission, maybe. Oh well. If that's the case, I left it in from last mission and owned myself. Maybe earlier, a Snow Imp in like the last room cursed my Deathwalker. I don't remember it happening, but maybe it happened. I can choose the order of each character's cards, regardless of which one I use for initiative, yeah. So also I can move 2 with Deepening Despair. Sure, I will mosey on over here. It feels basically irrelevant, but maybe it helps the skeletons get into combat. All right, next Drifter. With my Drifter, I'm going to use the top half of Bloodletting. It's at the Polar Bear, which has currently got 6 health, but it's going to take 1 damage from poison as well, and I have 1 damage from the banner, and I have 2 damage from Crushing Weight, which I will advance. So this is a base attack for 7. There's no way I can amp that up with an item, is there? No, it's a base attack for 7 against an enemy with 8. I would love to get a +1 here to kill. Okay, you actually have to be rolling a dice. I forgot about that, but yes, there is a curse on top of this deck and this deck, and they have to be rolling dice. All right, so 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are only 14 cards. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. +1. +0. Polar bear is on 1. Which, like, isn't the end of the world, but is a little bit awkward in terms of getting the skeleton through the doorway. It also means I don't get to move continuous health back, so when I heal with this, I have now lost the card. However, I get to heal Verna for 4, and that removes the wound. Oops. All right. Is a yellow crate 2 tiles below the Shadow Walker anything? It's just drawn on the map. All right, that is my Drifter's turn. Yeah, it's just like art. So, I was going to use Regroup to put my skeleton where the polar bear is, but the polar bear is there, making my turn a lot worse. What does Imp 9 have? It has 5 health. All right. I'm going to start by Javelining Imp number 9, which says at 5 health, it's not poisoned. Oh, fuck. Imp 7 goes first. Fuck. This is so cursed. Oh, well, I guess I just roll a +1. All right, so I have to roll a dice because there's a curse in the deck again. 3. 1, 2, 3 is +1, and the target gets an additional damage for each ally adjacent to it, which unfortunately there are no allies adjacent to it. But I said it was on 5, right? +1 on 3, and the banner is 5 damage. So it's actually a dead imp. One more loot drop. Huge. And then I have the ability to move 2 allies within 3 range, 3 tiles. I guess I can move you to here. Actually, that's really good. Now that I've thought about it a little bit longer, I can move you up to here. I'm still in melee range of the polar bear, but that's okay because now the last character of the turn goes, and it is Harper, who has a bunch of summons and shit. So Harper is going to start by having the Wraith attack. It's a base damage of 1 +1 from poison and 1 from a banner against an enemy with 1 health. It's a crit. So the polar bear takes 5 overkill and dies. All right, next the skeleton goes. Skeleton's target in this spot is the snow imp. So it will move forward into the doorway. It can only move 2, unfortunately. That's its movement speed. And then I'm going to use the bottom half of Foul Remedy to heal myself for 2, and the top half of Damned Horde to summon another skeleton. This one is Dewey. And the life cost cancels itself out with the healing. Get another experience, up to 9 experience from the mission. Another skeleton. And that's my turn. And that's all of my characters' turns. Was my drifter supposed to have strengthen? Yeah, that's for completion of the battle goal, correct. But I understand the confusion. Okay, the polar bear is dead. No longer in the initiative tracker. Snow Imp goes. So the Snow Imp is healing. It is at 7 out of 8, and its friend is at 12 out of 12, so I guess it will heal itself. It'll also move here because it's moving as though it's a melee combatant. It'll heal itself for 1. And then the Ice Wraith goes. And the Ice Wraith does not have ice to consume, and it's using Unholy Strength for an attack of +0 at 3 range. So it's shooting at my skeleton, and it's attacking for 3 damage plus a curse. Wait, the curse doesn't go into my deck if the skeleton dies from the attack. I've just remembered. All right, I shuffled this deck. The skeleton has 3 health and is attacking for 3 plus 1. All right, that means I don't get a curse. Huey's dead, and the card that summoned Huey goes into my discard pile. That is the end of this round. So we're now going into round 9, and I reshuffle this modifier deck because I drew the crit hit. In the Frosthaven digital game, you'll probably be able to click the crate 16 times for a secret item. Ooh, can you do that in the Gloomhaven digital game? I kind of want to play the Gloomhaven digital game, like... Oh, I'm torn. Can I gloat? Can I tell you all a secret? A secret little gloat for you all? My girlfriend also got me Gloomhaven. She had to, like... I think she messaged someone on LinkedIn. Because, like, you can't find Gloomhaven in stores right now. She, like, got a hookup from someone who worked at a game store or something and got me a copy of it that was probably used to be used for, like, store demos or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, they didn't want it anymore. So... I also have a copy of Gloomhaven. The problem with Gloomhaven is, if you've seen the size of Frosthaven, Gloomhaven is a small game for babies. Like, this is childish. This is like Connect 4, basically, compared to Frosthaven. So, I am not sure whether I want to actually plan on playing that on stream and save it for that, or if I'm good with just, like, playing the digital version of Gloomhaven for fun sometimes on my own Z's. Oh my god, carrying that far actually winded me. It is a large box. Gloomhaven 2.0 is coming out in March. Is that just Gloomhaven? Anyway, oh, I channeled air when I threw my javelin, which means that this turn, pinning charge for my banner spear would be a little bit better. It gets an additional range. Maybe the main thing that I get out of it is that it gives me an experience, which is, like, fine. Experience is kind of weird, because getting experience actually levels up the monsters at the same rate that it levels you up. So is it even good? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. We also have Head of the Hammer. These are the only 2 cards left for my banner spear, so this is what my banner spear will be doing. I have to decide whether I want to go at 87 or 17. The problem with going at 17 is this gets 1 more damage for each ally adjacent to the target, right? So currently, there are no allies adjacent to these targets. Maybe I want to go slower in the turn order so that allies can get in there before I go. Gloomhaven remastered all of the classes, rebalanced, general rework of the story, some changes to the meta town stuff. Oh shit. Well, that sounds pretty hype, actually. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can use Fierce Barrage. It deals 2 damage to 2 targets. This will be the first time ever successfully using it. Wait, the Ice Wraith was confused. Alright, it rolled 2 +1s. That's about as late in the game as I will ever draw another card for something being confused. Generally, if I forget something like that, I won't do it if it can be an advantage to me, but I think the skeleton staying alive is actually a disadvantage for me because it puts the curse in my deck. I don't know, whatever. It's a board game, who cares? Single player, etc. All right, let's try to do this. Let's try to do Fierce Barrage. It just seems like kind of a fun thing to do. The problem is when I do it, I lose crushing weight, and then my melee attacks are back to base values again. But maybe that's okay. I'll go at 20 initiative with no remorse. This is a cool modifier card that I drew last turn. When you level up, you get perks, which can do things like change your modifier deck. And so this is like a Banner Spear specific modifier card. The Banner Spear likes it when there are a bunch of allies working together. It's kind of the flavor of the class. Can my skeletons go super fast? Actually, yes. I can move at 18. That's not bad at all. My Banner Sphere kind of has to move out of the way. Oh, you still have winged shoes. Okay. Okay. So I will move at 18. I will grant one of my summons a move of 2, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't really seem relevant. I have an air element to work with. Let's go for Eternal Torment as well. So I'll curse the monster deck again and give the skeleton who's standing next to the monsters at that point of the turn an additional attack. I think actually my Drifter move is terrible. So I think one of the problems is I'm pretty sure there's only going to be one enemy left alive, for starters. So I think instead I'll use Draining Arrows. If I'm adjacent to exactly one enemy, move the character token on one of my persistent abilities back for 1 slot. So I'll use that to move in. And then I honestly might use... Nope, not that. I just use Fierce Barrage. So I'm going to use... I mean, I can use it to just attack 1 target, I guess. I could also use the base version of it to attack 1 target for 2. It's basically identical. What about Lyle? Lyle has Strength of the Abyss. That's hitting pretty hard at this point. X plus 1, where X is the number of shadows on the map. There are currently 4 shadows on the map. So that's decent if I can get in range to use it. Oh shit, I can teleport to a hex with a shadow or adjacent to a hex with a shadow. Which means I can get in range to use it. Nice. All right. That looks like some sort of turn for us. First we're going Banner Spear, then Bone Shaper, then Drifter, then Deathwalker. And let's see what they do. There are 4 options left for the Wraith. I'm going to be doing number 2 of them, which is Renewed Aggression. It will heal itself, and it will do a regular move and a regular attack. And Channel Ice. And it will reroll all the stuff at the end of turn. And then the Imps. Or the Imp. Singular, I guess, has 5 options. A 6, I'll reroll. A 6, I will reroll. A 1, it's going to phase out. Fuck. Phase out moves at 5 initiative and gives it 5 shield and heals it. That is so rude. And it channels a wild element, which means I get to choose. It will channel some sort of element, an element of my choosing. That is so rude. Well, now it isn't dead. Huh. Awkward. Okay. So the Snomp goes first and the Ice Wraith goes last. It's also awkward because it has 5 shield and it's closer to me than the Ice Wraith, so all my summons are going to attack it and deal, 0 damage. Alright, so Snow Imp gets 5 shield. I don't really know how to... There's no, icon that says shield on it. I'm gonna throw this down. That technically means something else, but it'll just remind me it has a shield. I doubt I'll forget anyway. I am going to... yeah, let's move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, using my winged shoes to fly. Or actually jump, I guess. And then I'm using Pinning Charge, which consumes air. And this is kind of weird. I am confusing, I guess this is worth noting. I'm confusing the enemy. Oh, I can do it in the other order. Well, that seems obviously correct. All right, so first I'm using Pinning Charge. Oh, also this channeled any element, and I can choose one for it to be. I don't know. Is there one that matters? It looks like there isn't one that matters. How about some fire? Actually, we'll do earth. Earth could matter next turn. So first I'm going to Pinning Charge, actually. We're shooting at the Ice Wraith. And we're attacking it for 2, and we're gaining an experience. We're immobilizing it, which doesn't matter because it wasn't going to move anyway. And yeah, attack for 2. I have to roll this, right? Yes, I do. I have to roll. There's a curse on top of the deck. I'm just going to confirm. Yeah, there's a curse on top of the deck. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Heal of getting experience for something that doesn't matter. Don't we all? I've healed myself for 1, and now we redraw. So Verna is up to 5. Oh, 8, sorry. Then we redraw. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have healed myself for 1. And we redraw. Cool. I'm up to 9. 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 16 cards. 17. There are only 16 cards. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, it doesn't matter that I immobilize it, because it's doing a ranged attack, so it will try to move away. But now it can't, because it is immobilized. So I got a +0 on it. base was 2 plus 1 from the banner plus 1 from poison minus 2 for shield. Means it takes 2 damage total and is now at 10. I'm going to put the health here because its card is a long way away. Okay, cool. This is my Banner Spear's turn. I also confused it. Cool. Bone Shaper's turn. First, the Wraith is going to attack an Imp. The Imp notably has 5 shield, so unlikely to take any damage. Plus 0. That doesn't deal it any damage. Next, my Skeleton is going to walk up. And my Skeleton is going to attack the Imp. Plus 1. Also deals no damage. Good shit. Now, my cards. Oh, actually, I have I move 2 and one of my summons moves 2. Oh, but I'd rather... Oh, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'll move my I'll move myself to here, because why not? And I'll move my Skeleton to here. And then when I play Eternal Torment, I can choose which of the adjacent enemies to be targeting, and I'll target the Wraith. So the monsters get a curse again, and the Skeleton attacks the Wraith for a base of 3 minus 1 shield is a base of 1 plus 0. 1 more damage. It's on 9. Oh, the Imp, by the way, healed itself for 1. So it was already at 8. Okay. Skeleton's done. They got a curse. I moved. I channeled Dark. Done. Next is my Drifter. So I was looking at stuff and feeling like this was weird, but I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottom half of Fierce Barrage just to move. Just move into the doorway and pick up the loot. And I'll use the top half of Draining Arrows, which is going to... The loot, by the way, is a hide. It's going to reconfuse the Wraith, which was already confused, but it will confuse the Snow Imp, which is actually kind of useful. How many heal yourself cards are in the deck? I think 2. I can get 4. 4 is my max. Anyway, Is this the least janky setup ever? Maybe. Okay, so I don't know if I can actually deal damage here. Is the top card a curse still? It is. So I roll twice, and I'm attacking this for like -4, basically. I guess one thing is if I roll a 1, I can get rid of the curse in my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. There are 12 cards left. 13 cards left. 10. 1, 2, 13, 12, 11, 10. Against the Wraith, it's +2. So 1 base plus 1 for poison plus 2 from the modifier card. It actually does deal 2 damage. It's down to 7. And then against the Imp, I am now rolling a d12. 9, 12, 11, 10, 9. -2, this is with disadvantage, so I can do even worse in theory. 10, 12, 11, 10. Plus 1. Okay. I have dealt 0 damage to the Imp. For like the 3rd time this turn, I want to say. Good shit. That's my Drifter done. And then my Deathwalker goes. So my Deathwalker gets to teleport to a hex adjacent to a shadow. Nothing personnel, kid. And then gets to Strength of the Abyss, which hits for 5 base plus 1 from poison, minus 2 from the shield. So 4 plus whatever the modifier is. And the modifier is +0 and a curse. That's in the wrong deck. Is this the right deck? No. Somehow I got the decks round the wrong way. All right. Wonderful. Let me sort this out real quick. 3, 3. All right. Those are all... I don't know how I got those round the wrong way. But the Bone Shaper is the one who can curse things with the deck. All right, let's try that again. It's going to hit 4. 4 plus 0. Enemy goes to 3 health. One time at work, there was a motivational poster that said, "Drift, do it right the first time," which always made you chuckle. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. Okay. What's next? The Ice Wraith goes. The Ice Wraith is immobilized, so it can't move. It will heal itself for 1. It's poisoned, and now it's not poisoned anymore. But when you heal with poison, you just remove the poison. You don't heal. And it's going to attack my Banner Spear with disadvantage. There is a curse on top of this deck, so I have to roll a d20. I also just shuffle. I'm just going to shuffle. I don't want to roll the dice. Too much work. The Drift Walkers, what made you think of that? It's a Death Walker. But also a Shadow Walker or a Shadow Cat or a Death Shadow or a Shadow Assassin, or there are many things we could call it. All right, I've shuffled this deck. Then I've looked at the bottom 5 cards of it accidentally. It's fine, whatever. Top card is a -2. So it started with an attack for 3 and curse. It is hitting us for 1 and curse. Kind of rude. I will have a curse then. And 1 damage. That's the turn. Oh, that channels Frost. So we have Waning Frost, Earth, and Dark. On turn 10 here. There are 2 enemies. They have a grand total of 11 health. It feels like I should be able to kill them somehow, to me. Also, when I moved, I got to move this back 1 tile. That feels important. My Drifter is kind of out of real cards. There are 3 left before I, so like next turn I have to rest. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to use like Deadly Shot, but I'll probably use a melee attack instead of the ranged component of it. And No Remorse, which can heal me if I need to for some reason. Mostly it just feels like you don't have a real turn. My Banner Spear is out of cards. I'd really like to long rest. I'm going to try to work out how to kill stuff without my banner spear this turn. I think top half of Decaying Will is not terrible for my Necromancer to be using. And then I'm going to use the bottom half of Bone Dagger, but not with any expectation of it actually doing anything. Oh, wait, I can consume Dark for +2 range. Okay, I actually can use Bone Dagger then. Cool. If the target dies this round, immediately play a card from your discard pile to perform a summon action of the card, reducing any damage you suffer by 2. So if I manage to kill the Imp with that, it's actually pretty good. And then my Deathwalker has to deal 3 damage to the Ice Wraith, kinda. I'm gonna go for Fluid Knight, top half. Perform the attack as if you're occupying a hex with a shadow, then remove the shadow, channel Dark again, and let's go Call to the Abyss, bottom half, to place a shadow within 2 hexes. I think I can long rest with my Banner Spear, maybe. Not 100% sure, but I'm gonna try. It should be all right. So Banner Spear is long resting, which means I have initiative 99, just as slow as possible. Drifter, Deathwalker, Bone Shaper, and then there are 2 enemies left. First, the Ice Wraith is going to do 6, which is Unholy Strength. That is Snow. Thanks for the sub. Moves at 59. Hopefully it's dead by then. And the Snow Imp can no longer phase out. What will it do? It will do nothing special at initiative 37, which is after all of my people. All right. So first up is Drifter. The Snow Imp's at 8. Is that right? Kind of a lot. And it's not poisoned or anything, but it's also no longer strengthened. It is confused as well, so if it stays alive, not the end of the world. I guess we go for damage. I guess we go a +2 damage attack with the top half of No Remorse. So it's just the basic thing being used. My Drifter's deck still hasn't been shuffled. I'm going to roll a d12. There are 12 cards left in it. I rolled a 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was wrong. There are... Actually, it might have only been 10. I can't count. I don't know. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's actually only 10. So now 9. I got a crit! Boom! So we start at 2 plus 2 from crushing weight is 4. Then a crit is ×2. That's dead. Exact lethal. Somebody has, like, get more loot than everyone else? No. No, actually they don't. Okay, never mind. I'm going to move my Drifter here and pick up 2 loot drops then. With the bottom half of Deadly Shot. We got 2 coins and a rock root to make a potion out of. Nice, Addis. Now, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Next, the Bone Shaper. So, first the Wraith goes and attacks this ice creature thing. It's going to hit for +0 plus a curse. It has 2 shield and is no longer poisoned, so it doesn't take damage. Where'd all the monster curses go? Oh, here they are. It is amazing how large this table is. And how, like, clearly it is not large enough. Okay, monster deck gets another curse in it. Then the skeleton goes. The skeleton also attacking for 2 into something with 2 shield. +1. So it's now at 2 health. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I am doing this in the wrong order. I'm just going to rewind all of that because I put a curse in the deck, which I shouldn't have done. Actually, my Deathwalker is meant to go now. My Deathwalker is going to use Fluid Knight. I'm going to consume the shadow that the skeleton is on, I think. Gain an experience. I now have 2 experience from cards for the mission for my Deathwalker. Deathwalker is very bad at getting experience from cards. And attack for 5. -2 is 3 base, +1 kills. Oh, wait, it's dead. So I ended up rolling pretty well and getting everything dead kind of early in the turn. I'm going to call to the Abyss to place a shadow within 2 range of me. Let's put it here since the door is over here. Get a shadow a bit closer to where we're going next. And now my Necromancer goes and has nothing to do. I will move 2. All the elements are inert. Round 11. Oh, actually not quite round 11 because my Drifter or Banner Spear, my Banner Spear chose the long rest. So I get back Poison Dagger, Crude Chain Armor, and Winged Shoes. Those all come back on long rest. My Banner Spear has a Spyglass. I did not realize that. Crude Shield does not come back on long rest. It's once per mission. That's the one that can block a status. I heal for 2. I'm at 10 out of my max health of 14. And I lose 1 card of my choice. But I recommend this game after 6 sessions. Oh yeah, the game's great. Excellent game, for sure. I am kind of leaving my banner all the way over there, is a thing I have noticed. My Drifter wants to long rest. When I long rest, I have a perk that lets me move an ally. Move my Drifter there. Yeah, I think my Drifter definitely wants to long rest and get back Winged Shoes and the Amulet. I didn't end up using Crude Chain Armor yet. Kind of surprising. Grant 3 allies within 4 a move of 2. Sure, I guess. Necromancer long resting? Could. Then regroup. Okay. I think I'm going to lose Pincer movement, which is like a kind of fun card. I don't know if I explained this yet, but Banner Spear has a bunch of attacks which require positioning of you and an ally to do. So the gray hex is me, the blue hex is an ally, and the red hex is the enemy. So if we're on either side of the enemy, we can get an attack for 5 and confuse the enemy, which is pretty cool. All the cards, at this point in the campaign, cards aren't in my deck unless I like them. So it's not like I'm excited to get rid of some of the cards when I rest. But that seems like an okay one to lose. I could go back and get my banner, but it feels kind of like a bit much. I think the banner is just gone. So yeah, I'll play the top half of Regroup to heal and apply regeneration to someone. And I will play the bottom half of, I guess, Pinning Charge To give 3 allies within 4 a move of 2. Do I have to remove? When I long rest, I have to remove 1 card, yeah. The rest of the team, my Necromancer and Deathwalker both have 1 turn left, and then my Drifter is resting now. Why did my Drifter have to rest now? Oh, because my Drifter used 2 cards on the first cycle through the deck, right? We're out of sync. A little awkward. So my Drifter can use Rest in the Shade, which heals me and all allies occupying hexes with Shadow for 2. That seems pretty decent. Who's in a hex with a Shadow? Currently only the Necromancer. But I could walk my Drifter up with my Banner Spear. Yeah, we'll do the top half of this, and then I'm going to use the bottom half of Shadow Step to just walk over to the loot and pick it up. And then I will need a rest next turn. My Necromancer. Like, honestly, I'm going to move forward with the bottom half of Dark Tidings, and then I'm going to summon another skeleton, dealing myself another 1 damage. I might unsummon all of my skeletons when I rest. It's kind of weird. And Drifter is long resting, which is fine. Table where you can leave all the stuff out between sessions. That actually feels like it helps a lot. This game is definitely, like, it's possible to put it away, but it seems kind of like it's a 30-minute process probably to do that. It feels kind of brutal. Maybe not that bad. If everybody helped, it would take you like a minute or 2 to put your own character away, and then you have to put the boards and stuff away. If you have to put it all the way back in the box, I don't know. One of the weird things about the game is it doesn't ship with sleeves, and like I bought the official sleeve pack, but now that I have them, the cards don't fit into the organizer anymore. Like you can squeeze them in okay, but I don't think I'd be able to get all of them into it at the same time. It's only 10 to 15 minutes of setup and teardown. Okay, that's not too bad. Drifter gets back Winged Shoes and Amulet of Life when long resting, and we have to decide which card to lose. So, could probably lose Draining Arrows. Did I kill with Bloodletting? What did I kill with? I killed with the top half of Deadly Shot. Did I move up Crushing Weight? I don't think I did. Gives me an experience. But also gets it 1 closer to being gone. Some of these cards feel like they are very good. Other cards feel like they are more able to be let go. I think I want Prudent Preparation, because I want my Drifter to tank everything when I open the next door. I'll lose Deadly Shot. It's okay. Goodbye, Deadly Shot. I like the town phase. The town phase is so good. I do have another table basically dedicated to all the stuff for the town phase, though. And I am very cognizant of that fact. Okay. So Drifter has heal or long rested. Wait, I already long rested the Drifter, even though I didn't move everybody else yet. That's probably fine. The people who are moving, I grant 3 allies within 4 range, a move of 2. Drifter goes onto this shadow. Bone Shaper goes onto this shadow. Lyle goes here and will pick up that loot at the end of Lyle's turn, but not before the end of Lyle's turn, so I can't move away with Lyle. And then I'm going to cast Regroup to heal somebody for 2 and give them regen. Regen makes them tick up 1 health every turn. I think that's for me. I'll target myself with that and be on 12 out of 14. Okay. Next. Lyle is going to use Rest and Shade, so 2 health for all allies occupying hexes with shadows and myself. That's 2 for Sam. It's 2 for Harper. So many 6s. I'm already at full health. Then I use the bottom half of Shadow Step to do nothing, because I actually want to stand still on the loot. What's my loot? It is metal. I think if I remember right, there's a random item available as loot on this mission. Random items are kind of sweet. So my Bone Shaper's turn, I'm allowed to make summons move toward me if they have no target. So I'll have the Wraith move toward me, and I'll use the bottom half of Dark Tidings to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the doorway. I will summon 1 Skeleton right in front of the doorway. And this card only deals me 1 damage to summon a skeleton. This skeleton's going to be Louis. I always summon Huey, then Dewey, then Louis, but if Dewey dies, I can summon Dewey again, but if Huey dies, I can't summon Huey again because I need to summon a skeleton who is after Huey. So or after Dewey, sorry. If Dewey is still alive, I have to summon a skeleton that's after Dewey, which has to be Louis. But, anyway, whatever. You'd love to throw money at one of the Wormwood gaming tables for management. They have entire gaming tables that are just for playing like Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. That seems very believable. All right, we move to the start of round 12. So I would love to just sit here and heal fully and everything, right? But my characters are running out of cards and will die. Take down the wrong health. Keep on thinking Harper's character 4 when I have Harper set as character 3. So anyway, instead of doing that, I'm going to use Prudent Preparation with Sam to get a shield and a retaliate, and I'm going to use the bottom half of... Oh no, I don't have like a big move anymore. All right, well I'm going to use the bottom half of Draining Arrows, I guess, to move 3. That's the biggest move I have left. And I'm going to do that at 14 initiative to get through the doorway quickly. I would also quite like Harper to go next at reasonable speed. I'm actually going to unsummon Huey. I just feel like that skeleton's going to take forever to get back into action, and I'd rather have the card in my hand than not in my hand. How many cards do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it gives me 1 more turn before I have to rest to have this card in hand. I will short rest. We're going to roll a d10. Roll a d12 instead of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to lose Eternal Torment. Grant 1 of your summons adjacent to the target of the curse ability and attack. Curse something at 5 range. Channel Dark Element. Or grant your summon a loot. That seems fine. I can lose that. All right, and then I want to go relatively soon after Sam does. I guess I'll use Flow of the Black River, move 2, grant a summon a move of 2. And then I have a top half of a card I can use. I think I'm going to use Life and Death and just make another skeleton. Gonna be very awkward if I like get into this room and it isn't even where I need to go yet. Like there is a door there that I could have gone to get into here if that's where I need to go. I was assuming that I needed to go over here. The book said like if I go this way, basically it's less distance, but there are more enemies. And if I go this way, there was something about like it being harder to move that way, but we didn't see as many enemies there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards for Deathwalker, so I will roll a d12 again and roll number 9. Short resting again. We're losing Shadow Step. That's too bad, but yeah, I will lose it. I can't really reroll my short rest loss because I really want to have the card that lets me teleport between shadows for the entire team. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm here. I don't really know. What's my biggest move? I think I just lost to the only big move I have. I also use the bottom half of Call of Doom to move 3. Which gets me toward where I need to go. I bet... Okay, let's also use Strength of the Abyss. I bet I can also use Banner Spear to help everyone get through the door here. There should be some card here that moves allies. Move 2 and grant 2 allies within 2 range a move of 2. I guess that's the one I have. And I guess I will use the top half of At All Costs as well to heal all allies for 3. So we're going to do that at initiative 32, which means I want my Deathwalker to move at initiative... Ooh, this is actually, they're both 32s. So tiebreak is this initiative on the second card. I want Deathwalker to move after Banner Spear here, so Deathwalker will have to move at 50. So we go Drifter, then Bone Shaper, then Banner Spear, and then Deathwalker, and we begin by having Drifter use the bottom half of Draining Arrows. We're using 2 of the 3 move that I have from this to go. 1, open the door. 2. And I'm going to stretch my legs real quick, and then we'll find out what's in this next room. You have now watched a room of Frosthaven. How cool was that? I'll be right back. Twitch chat. Oh, door 4 is locked. This door is locked now. Okay. When door 5 is opened, read 145.1. This is it. You see a growth of mammoth bark on the other side of the cavern. You are bound to find a few dried out pieces of it to collect. Special rules: the gold treasure tile represents the mammoth bark. Spawn the following monsters at the listed locations based on character count. Ooh. Where are locations C and D? $152.1. I don't know where locations C and D are. The fuck? Door 3 is open, read 179.2. Okay. C is here. And D is here. And this says, for 4 characters at C, I spawned 3 normal polar bears. Why? Polar bears were red. So 1. Where'd they come from? How did I get suddenly outmaneuvered like this? I don't understand. Felt like I had it all under control. Hey, Mr. Kang! You're afraid to check the uptime command? I actually streamed a bunch of Spire today. I haven't been going that long with Frosthaven. Just like an hour and a half, maybe 2. This mission is a lot. Alright. Just a very casual 3 polar bears. No big deal. Was there not? Jake Loans, thanks for 53 months. Appreciate it. All right. 3 polar bears. I wonder what happens when I loot the mammoth bark. There's also an elite snow imp. Tile D. And then in the room I have just entered, we have 2 elite snow imps. Here. Here. We have another one of these snow wraiths here. And then we also have an elite snow wraith. Ice wraith, rather. Here. Right in the doorway. So ice wraiths are kind of unique. Their normal and elite forms are not like the normal one's weaker than the elite. The normal one is ranged, and the elite one is melee. So it's different. I don't understand what's happening to me. Why? I just opened a door and now there are 8 enemies on the map, which is more enemies than there are like ever on the map. And they are surrounding me. And this is like room 3. Usually room 3 is like pretty easy because they respect that you used all of your cards already. This is kind of fucked up. Anyway, there's other stuff here. There are 4 impassable obstacles. There's a trap. There's hazardous terrain. And there's difficult terrain. There's icy terrain. Icy terrain makes you slide. And there are 2 chests. 2. This one has the mammoth thing in it that I'm looking for, and this one is just a chest. It just has loot of some sort. So yeah, that just happened. Holy shit. Okay. So you have to roll for the enemies. Ice Wraith is moving number 7, which is Calculated Strike. It's moving slowly and then hitting really hard. And channeling Frost. Then the Polar Bears are doing number 6, Calculated Strike. They are also moving slowly and then hitting really hard. They're regular Polar Bears, so they have 12 health and 3 move, which means I actually could maybe move away from them. Or at least I could move so not all of them could hit me. Oh, they're gonna go kill my Wraith. I guess that's fine. And then the Imps only have 3 options left. 3, Dark Charm. They are going to attack for 1 less than usual and curse. They're also moving. They are moving. They're going to move on top of the chest? Are they? Yup. They move at 3? They move at 3. This will go here and shoot me. This will go here on top of the chest and shoot me. Oh, God. Actually, no, we'll go here because it can stand on top of an obstacle. I mean, I don't love this. I could end turn here. If I do, though, my skeleton doesn't get in to do anything. Oh, my skeleton would change its mind and go this way. To go fight the polar bears. Because there's no way for it to fight the wraiths. I do have a jump. Just wondering. So I have this card for next turn, move 3, attack 3, and then move 2. So I could jump here. I could like move here maybe, and like go open the chest and die. Because I'm kind of feeling like I'm just going to have to go back to the start, which you can do by teleporting through the shadows. There's no way they're going to make me kill all of these things. Is there? That would be ludicrous. No, I don't think they would do that. Okay. So, my Drifter has 12 health and a full deck. All right, we're going to Prudent Preparate. Prudent Preparate. I get a shield and a retaliation for the rest of the turn. Also, I get to move Crushing Lake back 1 tile because I ended my move next to 1 enemy. We are Prudent Preparating. Oh, I have to like look at what order they are going in, I guess. Snow Imps are going before Deathwalker. And then it's Polar Bears and then Ice Wraith. Okay, Bone Shaper. So the Wraith moves backwards and makes an attack. It actually wants to shoot, yeah, it wants to shoot number 3. It's now next to the banner, so it's making an attack for a base of 2 damage. -1, hits for 1. The Polar Bear is at 11. These ones are a little bit squishy. At least compared to the elite I was fighting earlier. 12 health instead of 20 health. Kind of a big difference. The skeleton can never find a tile to attack this from, so it's going to prioritize attacking something over here instead. So we'll wander over that way. And then I get an actual move. I'm not going to say I'm happy about this. When does the Snow Imp go? Before the Deathwalker. What's the Snow Imp doing? Dark Charm. Is there an element for it to use? No. Alright. I'm going to move here and grant a summon a move of 2. And move summon there. And then I'm going to use the top half of Life and Death to make another skeleton. Presumably they will die. There are a bunch of polar bears here. Banner Spear is set up for the Hold the Line card. Do I have that? I do have Combined Effort. Heal for 3, heal for 3. Iffy. Iffy. This chest down here. I would love to get that chest. I don't know if I'm ever going to successfully get that chest, is the thing. I imagine what's going to happen is I'm going to grab this chest and then I'm going to run away. That feels like more the current vibe. Did I win with Watcher on 1 HP? I did not. But I died to the heart. So I have to decide where the skeleton's going. I think I have netted out on putting it here. Yep. Yeah, I think so. All right. Next. My banner spear moves. So my banner spear is going to move 2 and grant 2 allies within 2 range a move of 2. So I'm moving here. And I'm moving, I think, a skeleton. Wait, I could move the drifter to the chest. How fast do you go? Next turn. I think fast enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move this skeleton to be here now. I move this skeleton to be here now. Then I'm going to use the top half of at all costs, which gives me an experience and deals me 2 damage to heal Drifter for 2 and Necromancer for 3. The Unbreakable Wall thing. I do not think I have it. But yes, I would be pretty well set up for it right now. And the polar bears are going to stay there, so I would have the chance again next turn. All right, the Snow Imps. The Snow Imps are moving for 1 less distance than usual, right? No, regular distance. Okay, so they're moving 3, and they are attacking at range 3. So this moves 3 to here and attacks my Drifter. It does have line of sight to that tile. Yeah, it does. Why don't I move my Drifter back 1? That's a great question. God, they all rolled calculated strike, huh? They sure did. All right. Well, good for them. What's my Drifter doing? Call of Doom moves 3. Could move 4 instead. Have I really rolled any dice? Yeah, I don't want this to be on the chest, though. Okay, so it's attacking for 1 less damage than usual. Its base damage is 3. So it's attacking for 2. Is this a curse? No. Cool. It's my Drifter for 1 and gives my Drifter a curse. And makes my Drifter brittle, because Snow Imps always make their targets brittle. Wild shit. Okay. Then next, this one goes. Moves to here. Shoots my Drifter again. Same idea as last time. This time the Drifter is brittle though, so damage is doubled. +0. Alright, so it's hitting for 2, doubled to 4. This time, I'm going to use my Reinforced Shield to not get hit by Brittle, though. Actually, I'll also use my Chain Armor to not take the damage. So that just straight up, it blocks both of the damage, so the damage doesn't double. So I take nothing, and I don't get hit by Brittle this time. Whew. Man, this chest over here, that is... It is gettable. I mean, it's gettable. Okay, anyway. This snow imp now wants to attack this skeleton. It wants to move so that it can take an attack against that skeleton without disadvantage. Which actually means it will move to here. Kind of wild. Could move to here instead if I'd prefer. Whatever, that's fine. Oh, 2 curses for my drifter. Wait, they're not cursing. Yes, they are cursing. All right. 2 curses for my drifter. 1 curse for my necromancer. Actually, it's not a curse if my necromancer's summon dies here. If you block all the damage, you don't lose brittle. Are you sure? I'm confused. Well, if that's the case, I can't block the new... If that's the case, I have to have brittle right now, right? Flying conditions never requires damage. Yeah, that seemed more true. I'm so confused. That means I can't block the new brittle application with my shield. Because I never lost a brittle. The drifter did have prudent preparation up, yeah. Oh shit, that means I take 1 less damage from the first attack. Right? I'm confused. I'm confused. I think I was counting that on the first attack? No, I was not counting that on the first attack. Okay, so I take no damage from the first attack, and then I get brittled, and then I get hit for 2, which is 1 because of thing. So I can just take 2 from that and not use chain armor and block the new brittle application. So I'm taking 2. And I'm not brittle. Seems okay. All right, the other snow imp is going to hit... what is this? It's a curse. It's a curse that will go into my necromancer's deck if the skeleton doesn't die. It's a +1, so the skeleton does die. So the curse doesn't go in my deck. Not 100% certain that's better, but it's what happened. Shield blocks the new application of brittle. My reinforced shield says when an enemy would apply a negative condition to you, prevent the condition. So I'm using it to prevent the next brittle. All right. That's the snow imp. The Deathwalker now goes. I mean, I had been planning to like run out. I guess I can still kind of run out. So I'm going to hit... Let's see. There's a polar bear on 11. There's a snow imp on 8. I do not have a poison dagger anymore. I have a heater shield? Yo. I think it's not unreasonable to use Spyglass on this. So I'm going to be attacking with advantage. All right. +0 or... This is on the imp. -1. So I hit the imp for 5. X +1, where X is the number of shadows on the map. It's now on 3. So snow imp number 9. And then I will move 3 and channel dark. I don't think I'm moving though. I think I'm just standing still actually. But I will channel dark. And then I get mauled by the polar bears. Like, this is not good. This is a bad thing. this looks pretty bad. All right, so polar bear number 2 is going to attack this skeleton. Were there curses in this deck? I don't think so. So it's attacking for 5 damage base. The skeleton has 3 health. The skeleton is super dead. The skeletons are starting to struggle to keep up with the enemies a little bit, is an observation I have. Then polar bear number 3 is going to attack my Deathwalker. Again, this is an attack for 5 base. Is a crit miss. Yay. It does apply wound, though. Default attacks apply wound for polar bears. And then the polar bear number 4 also going to attack Deathwalker for +0. And I'll use a heater shield to reduce that damage by 1, so it's only 4. And I get hit by another wound, but that doesn't do anything. I'm already wounded. That really wasn't that bad. I lost my last skeleton. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of fine. Whatever. Now, the Ice Wraiths go. So first the Elite Ice Wraith goes. And Elite Ice Wraith is a melee attacker, which applies wound. And it's attacking for 5 and a wound. What the fuck? Cancel my Drifter, who has 1 Retaliate and 1 Shield. And is not brittle. And has crude chain armor. Okay, so let's roll. It's a crit. It's a crit. It's a crit. So what is that? 10? Base of 4 times 2? 10 damage. I think I have to burn a card against that, unfortunately. Burn a Fierce Barrage, which, like, who knows? Maybe that could have been useful, but it seems like it is necessary to burn that here, I guess. Sorry I banned you, Flannel Violin, my bad. I'm sure that was my mistake. All right, and then number 4, this one is a ranged attacker. So this says normal ones attack for 4 range. And they're also attacking for +1. So they're going to apply a curse. This applied a wound, by the way. Oh, my Banner Spear heals 1 from regen. They are going to put a curse in my Drifter's deck. Didn't I just shuffle this? This is why I use the dice. I don't want to have to shuffle all the time. So much shuffling. Unreasonable. And it's attacking for 4? For 4 base. There's no crit in the deck anymore. What about a crit miss? Nope. Oh, this takes Retaliate, so it's at 11 now. That's number 3. So I'm going to put number 3 on the left. I'll put number 4 on the right. Number 4 is just hitting for 2, which feels manageable. I can lose 2 health. I am not sure. Do I just, like, run away from that room and then come back to it? Or do I... When does this scenario end? I have to combine the things in the pot? Okay. Okay, it's doable. I see how it can be done. It feels like it could be pretty painful, though. We still have 10 health there. I think it's okay. I think this is doable. So I took 2 from that. That's the end of the turn. I wonder how we stir it in the pot. To reshuffle this deck as well. Oof. What time is it? 2:28. I've got like half an hour. That's long enough for like one more turn. We can play 2 turns. There isn't that much left that matters, is the thing. So my banner spear. I think I'm down to use Head of the Hammer. Head of the Hammer is a new card that I am using. I just got it for leveling up. It deals 7 damage and stuns a thing. And I will use Set for the Charge to get in position to do that. My Drifter is going to... I think I'm okay with going relatively slowly here. Am I? If these roll their heal, they'll move at me and block this tile. I need them not to block the tile. How fast is their like move and heal? 42, so I need to go faster than 42. So Fortitude would work. Oh, so would Vile Assault. So I'm going to use Vile Assault to move and No Remorse to top half heal. Skelettons. 6. We'll go Bone Dagger. Just to have 29 initiative, basically, and make a skeleton to make a skeleton. Seems fine. Mac, how are you? And then my Shadow Walker needs to go bottom half. Oh, fuck. Did I lose the card? Where's the card? Oh, it's here. Rest in the Shade. Move all shadows up to 6 hexes. This is the key. We are going to put the shadows under our people who need to teleport out. And we'll go top half. Do I have Dark Essence? Looks like I do. Go top half of Forceful Spirits, basically to give myself an experience. You have a strong intuition that Calipers would be good here. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So that's my big idea. I'll move this health up here. I wonder what E and F were for. Go the other order. I guess I kind of want... Here's the deal. When I open the thing, it's going to tell me what I have to do, and I might be wrong about what I need to do. So let's have the Drifter go before my Deathwalker, because my Deathwalker like teleports all the shadows over here, and then it turns out that isn't even what we're meant to do. That could be kind of bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, is this a wall or an obstacle? It's a wall. I'm not allowed to teleport shadows through walls, right? So I couldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and teleport a shadow down there, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get a shadow on the chest. If I could like get a shadow down toward this chest and have somebody go open that chest at the end of everything. Wait, maybe I can still do that with like 1, 2, 3, 4. I could still do that actually. Oh shit. This is kind of hype. All right. Wow. There's actually quite a lot going on here. All right. So Banner Spear, Drifter, Deathwalker, Bone Shaper. There are 4 enemy types in play. Let's roll for the Wraiths first. If you can walk the path with the shadow, it's game. Yeah, I cannot. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're gonna fade out with me. Oh yeah, fade out with me tonight. Basically, they're passing their turn. Yeah, they're not doing much this turn. That's good. You, Polar Bear. 4 is full force. They're not moving, but they are attacking for a lot. I could move away from them, though. I'm fast enough with both characters to move away from them. And then they wouldn't be able to hit me. Okay, cool. And then, finally the imps. 2, tip the scales. They're also not attacking. They're going to muddle us and buff themselves. Cool. And they're going at 24 initiative, which is before my Deathwalker. And my Bone Shaper. The Polar Bears are going at 29, which is just after my Bone Shaper, and the Ice Wraiths are going at 59. All right, first up, Banner Spear. So my Banner Spear is going to use Winged Shoes to move. I'm going to move here. And then I'm going to use the top half of Head of the Hammer, consuming the card, which gains me 3 experience somehow. Somebody make it make sense. And I'm going to use Spyglass on this attack, which gives me advantage. We're hitting for 7. It's not poisoned. We're hitting for 7, and we're stunning it. +0, or crit miss. I'm glad I did advantage. Well, actually, I guess the advantage didn't help it. But anyway, that's stunned. It's at 4 health now. And it will not be moving this turn. I think my Banner Spear was wounded? No. My Banner Spear has regen. Okay, the opposite of being wounded. So my Banner Spear's turn. Drifter. Here goes fucking nothing. I'm gonna use Vile Assault. Well, actually, I guess first I will use... No, I'll use Vile Assault. Vile Assault moves me 2. I'm going to use Winged Shoes to fly, or jump at least, and move to this chest and open it. Then I'm going to use the top half of No Remorse to heal myself another 3. So I'm at max HP. My max HP is 14. I'm no longer wounded. And at the end of my turn, I open this chest and I get to read something. 109.3. With the bark in hand, you just have to get back to Nor at the mouth of the cave to cook the stew. Spawn the following monsters at the listed locations based on character count. There are now 3 normal ice wraiths. At E. One, 2, I think I might be out of purple hexagons. 3. Agent Saku. I should have 2 more purple hexagons somewhere. I made 6. Ah. And 1 elite snow imp at F. Are there any snow imps left? Wait, snow imps are purple. Those are orange. Oh, fuck's sake. Well, it's all fucked. I'm sorry. The hexes are not right anymore. These are meant to be purple and these are meant to be orange. I don't think it'll matter that much because I'm just going to teleport past everything anyway. Wait, I used wing shoes that turn. Fuck. Can I change my turn? Man, I used winged shoes. I think it's okay. I think it's legit to change my turn here. I needed winged shoes, and I knew that I needed winged shoes, and I got confused and used them, and it's fine. We're not using winged shoes. It's okay. It's okay. A little bit cheesy. But my intention was that winged shoes were very important for what I wanted to do, so I don't hate fixing that. All right, snow imps. Snow imps don't move. They strengthen everyone within 2 of them and muddle everyone within... Oh my god, all the polar bears are strengthened? Can we not? 2, 3, 4, all the polar bears are strengthened. So it doesn't matter that the ice wraiths are strengthened because they aren't attacking. Also, the ice wraiths are going to strengthen themselves. The snow imps also strengthen each other, which I guess probably works. I don't think 7 should end up strengthened because I think it starts its turn strengthened and then it loses strengthened at the end of its turn. And then all of my stuff is confused. Like every single one of my characters is confused. So everyone's at disadvantage this turn. We can just remember that, I think. I hope. All right. Deathwalker takes 1 from wound. Deathwalker moves all shadows up to 6 hexes. So I'm going to move this one there. I'm going to move this one. What, here, I guess? And move this one here. Actually, let's move it under my banner spear. One, two, three, four. I can't actually move far enough. Just doesn't quite work. All right, so that's my first card. That card is lost now. My other card is Forceful Spirits. Attacking with disadvantage against adjacent targets, which is fine because I'm attacking with disadvantage against everything. We're going to consume our dark element. To do this, we're going to hit that imp. Imp number 9, which is at 3 health. Please die. We're hitting it for base attack damage of 3, but we are disadvantaged, so we roll twice. 1, 2, both +1s, it's dead. Okay. I did something good. That's you done. I get an experience, actually. Oh, I get one more attack. I'm sorry. It's even better. I get one more attack. Let's shoot at bear number 3, which is at 3 health, I guess. Again, with disadvantage. That's a +2 and channel dark. That's a +1. I hit for 3. It's dead. Nuh-uh. Those were very good cards. Okay, nice turn for my Deathwalker. Now, skeletons. My Wraith goes first and attacks Polar Bear number 4 for +2 with a banner, so 4 damage. It's down to 8. What did I just take off? I'm sorry. Polar Bear number 3 is not at 3, it's at 4. So actually this hits Polar Bear number 3 and kills it. My bad. Wraith is one of the only things that isn't at disadvantage. And then on my Necromancer's actual turn, I am going to curse something at 2 range and summon a skeleton. So the monsters get another curse in their deck. And I put another skeleton in the way of the enemies. Now at 2. Next. Oh shit, I opened this. I need to read what it does. No, I already did. I have to read another passage when the person who opened it is there. What a fucked up mission. This mission is so fucked. This mission's like twice as hard as all of the other missions I've done. I'm gonna cheese it and win, hopefully, like entirely because of the cheese I'm doing. But good lord, what a mission. +2 dark is great. I like it because it gives you extra stuff for next turn, which is really nice. All right, the polar bears are going now. So polar bear number 2 is attacking my banner spear with advantage. I need to shuffle this. Dealing with 6 polar bears is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only 6. It sure feels like there have been a lot of enemies. That is my observation. Many strategy games expect you to cheese every now and then. I'm glad I took this teleport card, because, yeah, it's been very good. Alright, it's attacking my banner spear with advantage, so attacking twice, +0 or -1. Shuffle that since I saw it, I guess. Well, no, it's about to get used. So +0, base damage of 4 and wound. Regen turns into wound. Then the other one will attack my Deathwalker for either -1 or crit miss. All right, so that one will be for -1, which is 3. My Deathwalker's at 3. Let's burn Call to the Abyss. I don't think I need that one anymore. That's the one that makes shadows, but the mission is hopefully over now. I don't have a move for 5 anywhere? That's too bad. Okay, and then there are no other polar bears. The ice wraiths all strengthen themselves. They also all bless themselves. So the monster deck now has 5 blesses in it. A bless is a crit hit, by the way. It like hits for 2 times regular damage. Yeah, so that's a thing that just happened. Monster deck also reshuffles. This is the end of the turn. All right. I have to do this semi-quickly, but I think I can end it now before I have to go, just barely. So I'm going to... Well, I think I know the turns I'm playing. This has to reshuffle. Honestly, not sure it matters. I have to leave at 3-ish. I don't know. I have to leave at 3-ish if I want to take the bus. I could take an Uber and stay another while, though. What was the most successful 1 HP Slay the Spire run earlier? Oh, we got to the heart. We didn't kill it, though. You want me to say now I'm thinking with portals? I could say now I'm thinking with portals. All right. So Banner Spear is going to have to short rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I rolled a 1. I'm losing regroup. Got 2 allies within 3 range moves of 3. But you're the only one who can fly. All right, so that doesn't help. I will lose it. And my Banner Spear is going to go... like... Oh, this is gone. I lost that. I have 5 cards. So we're gonna go 21 initiative and set for the charge. Set for the charge moves 4. 21 initiative because I have to go slower than my Deathwalker, who's gonna open all the portals. My Deathwalker, speaking of which, has a pretty easy turn, I imagine. We're gonna go 11 initiative. You and all allies may treat each hex with a portal as being adjacent to each other hex with a portal during move abilities this round. Get to do that once per mission. You sure hope that that's as many times as you need to do it per mission, I guess. And then the top half of It Doesn't Matter Much. Top half of Anger of the Dead, maybe? Or Fluid Night. Fluid Night... They both make the same amount of experience. I'll go Fluid Knight, actually. Necromancer wants to move shortly after my Banner Spear does. $30 is probably fine. I can move it 4 and use... Ooh. Does that work? Does my Necromancer have to move? I guess that's another point. We can just kind of hang out. I have 2 health. Changed my mind. My Necromancer is going to go Foul Remedy. 30, heal an ally. Actually, I'll heal myself because use... Wait, what? Actually, this works fine. I'm going to heal an ally and heal an ally with Transfer of Essence as well, which will put me at 0 health, but it's okay. I can just burn a card. And my Drifter has to get the hell out of dodge. I guess I will use Fortitude for that. And the top half of Bloodletting, because why not? Adventurers have a lot more equipment than last time you saw. I had some of this, but it was like under their cards, so it wasn't visible. Okay, so Deathwalker opens the portals, Banner Spear, Drifter, Bone Shaper. Let's see what the enemies are doing. The Strengthened Wraiths are rolling a 5, so they're going to shift form, which says all elite Ice Wraiths become normal, all normal become elite, then they heal, move, and attack. Frankly, deranged. What about the Polar Bears? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Claw swipes. At 61 initiative. So they're going after everyone. And the Snow Imps have 7 available. 7. Dark Charm. Next mission, I'm going to switch. When I have 7 available and I roll d8, I'm going to have 7 be the 7th available one and 8's a reroll. Up until now, though, I've been doing that when I roll a 7, it is the 7th thing, and the one that is already used is a reroll. All right. Anyway, Dark Charm is 43, so that is also slower than all of my people, except for Bone Shaper, actually. Wait, no, Bone Shaper is going like this, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, I got that confused. So Deathwalker opens portals. You and all allies may treat... Well, actually, do I use Fluid Knight first? Are the Polar Bears, like, at full health? Yep. No, number 9 is low. Oh, it's dead. Fuck if I know what I'm doing. I think I will open a portal. And I will go 1, 2, 3. And move to there. Portals are now open for the rest of the round. Then I can use Fluid Knight. It gives me 1 experience and it attacks something adjacent to a portal. I'm going to attack Polar Bear number 2. Polar Bear number 2 with this. It gives me 1 experience. Polar Bear number 2 is going... Oh, I'm wounded. I'm on 2 now. Polar Bear number 2 is going to take 4 damage. Nice to see mobility in the Ice Wraith class structure. Yeah, the ice wraiths are really cool. All the enemies are really cool. My Bone Shaper was meant to go before my Banner Spear, but I fucked it up. I think it's too late to really change that now that I've seen what all the enemies are doing. So my Banner Spear is jumping and is going to use Set for the Charge to move 4. And we're going to move 1, 2, 3, slide 4 on top of a trap, which deals me 6. Which is certainly a way to do it. I can then Javelin something. I'll Javelin Imp number 1 for 3 damage. So Imp number 1's on 5. And I've channeled air. I'm taking 6 from jumping on top of a trap. I think we can reasonably lose a card instead of doing that. All right, that's my Banner Spear. So I'm 1 tile away from another chest. That's why I'm doing this. Bone Shaper goes now. Wraith attacks Skeleton or Bear number 4 and curses the monster deck and deals 2 damage. Bear number 4 is at 6. Skeleton attacks the other bear, which is at 10 now. Bear number 2. And then my Necromancer is... Fuck if I know. Has an enemy died this round? Nope. I'm at 2 health. Yikes. Maybe I just move? Probably, yeah. I guess I'll just move. My Necromancer is going to move 2. 1, 2. Hi. And... Yep, that's... I guess I will heal my Deathwalker for 2 now that I'm here. Deathwalker is now at 4 and has no wound. And then my Drifter. My Drifter is going to first bloodletting this thing right here. -1, so it goes to 3 health. And then we're going to move 2. 1, 2. And I'm deliberately not standing next to the thing because I'm hoping that the mission ends now. Will it end now? Well, not now, but next turn when I move next to it, I'm hoping the mission ends. All right, Snow Imps. Snow Imps are Dark Charming. They're attacking for 2 base on you. -1. Okay, I have like not much tankiness. I got a 7 and I am brittle. Next one is strengthened. Actually, you were strengthened. Okay, next one isn't strengthened. +0. I'm going to use Crude Chain Armor to block 4 damage there. All right, next. This one? This one is going to move... Oh, also curses for Banner Spear. Then this one is going to move to here and shoot at my Deathwalker. +1, so my Deathwalker goes to 1 and is brittle. That's all of the imps. Polar Bears. This is going to attack a skeleton. Wait, what are the polar bears doing, actually? Yeah, it's going to attack a skeleton and kill it. And then this one will move and attack a Wraith. -1. It's only hitting for 2, so the Wraith has 2 armor. The Wraith is now wounded, so it will immediately die on its next turn, but it's not dead yet. Next. That's all the polar bears. The ice wraiths. So the ice wraiths, all the regular ones become elites. And then the elites are melee range. So number 1 goes... Wait, how does this even work? 1... It's not allowed to move into a trap, right? But it has to? Is that hazardous terrain? I'm confused. I think it goes 1, 2, takes 6 damage. Do they fly? Nope. And then it will melee attack this Wraith, killing it. The Wraith card is lost when the Wraith is done instead of discarded. Then number 2 goes, they have 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and attacks the banner, which is 4 health. They attack for 4, so the banner's dead. Okay, and then number 3. This is a regular one. The regular ones have ranged attacks at range 4. So it moves here, and also they're strengthened, by the way. They're also healing themselves for 1. I don't think that matters. I don't think that I'm going to kill them. They're attacking for a base of 2 only. But a crit makes that 4. And another curse for you. Now on 3. And no longer brittle. Wait. You were brittle? Oh, okay. I have to lose a card for that then. Does the brittle still go away when I take damage? Or when I don't take damage, rather? The other one just shoots. I don't know if the brittle goes away or not. It's also with advantage. +1, that's also a crit. I think I've failed. Well, unless the brittle goes away, in which case I'm at 3 now. If the brittle goes away, I'm good. And otherwise, I'm dead. These are the 2 possibilities. And then this one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up this way. Now that's their turn. Not that big a deal at all. Maybe. Does anybody know if brittle... Check the rules. The next time the figure would suffer damage from any source, they instead suffer double that amount of damage, and brittle is then removed. Brittle is also removed if the figure is healed. I don't know if that means if I prevent the damage by losing a card, I still take damage or not. I don't believe I have any other things left that could change the situation. So just whether it works or not. I would suggest to you that it goes away. Lost card, 38. Character damage. When a character would suffer any amount of damage after ward or brittle is applied. Okay. Okay, I can stop it. All right. Final turn. I'm gonna short rest with Banner Spear. 1, 2, 3 is the first card. So 1. So we are losing Javelin. That's the one that I wanted to lose. Banner Spear's turn is at 6 initiative, move 4. The other people, I don't know. Does it matter? Drifter is going to lose card number 2 to short rest. And is then going to, at 27 initiative, move and heal, I guess. Actually at 20 initiative. Need my Deathwalker to get out of the way. Deathwalker is going to lose card number 3. Forceful Spirits. So I can move at 14 with you. And then I can Fluid Knight for 1 more experience. And then Necromancer has 2 cards. I'll just use these 2 cards. I don't even know what they are. I move at 43 initiative. So Banner Spear, Deathwalker, Drifter, Bone Shaper. Enemies are going to go 8 is a reroll, 3. Hasty Assault on the Ice Wraiths, 41 initiative, so before Bone Shaper, but after everyone else. Snow Imp is going... There's actually a Snow Imp there who can shoot us. Well, let's go Polar Bears first. Polar Bears 2, Hasty Assault. At 13 initiative. So they're going like before everyone? Just about. But they're too far away to actually do anything. And then the Imps are doing 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rotten Sting. At 43 initiative. Which is after everyone else. Alright. Banner Sphere goes here and opens the chest. This is chest number. How do I... What... Does anybody remember where I was? Like 171 something? Nope. Alright, we have to start at the beginning. 152. No? Yes. 152.1 to 172.1 to... Oh, that's not where I want. 152.1 to 179.1 to 145.1 This is chest number 31. In the rulebook, chest number 31 is Gain Balanced Scales Blueprint, number 78. And that'll never get taken away from me, even if I fail the quest. Balanced Scales is... Once each turn, during your attack ability, you gain disadvantage on 1 attack, then flip this card over at the end of your turn. Once each turn, during your attack ability, you gain advantage on 1 attack, then flip this card over at the end of your turn. So you get disadvantage sometimes and advantage the rest of the time, the other times. Cool. That's real cool. I can now craft those. If you lose a card to prevent damage, brittle and ward are removed. All right, awesome. So you're done. Now the polar bears go. The polar bears search for enemies. They are moving at +1 speed, so 4 speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are right there. Here come the polar bears. Deathwalker. Oh, I no longer have a target for Fluid Knight. Whoops. I think I'm allowed to play the card and just fail to attack, though. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I have to remove the shadow or not, actually. Maybe I can just do that for 1 experience whenever I want. I doubt it. And I will move my Deathwalker here to tank. Then Drifter moves here and heals, I guess, my Deathwalker for 3. Good luck out there, friend. And the Ice Wraiths go. So the Ice Wraiths are doing a hasty assault. They're moving +1 speed. So the elites, which are all these, go at 6 speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This gets an attack for base of 4 damage and a wound. -1. Deathwalker goes to 1 and is wounded. Next. Number 3. 1, 2, 3. Takes an attack on my Banner Spear, who is at 3 health. This hits for lethal damage. I actually have no cards left, so Banner Spear is exhausted. Next. Bye, Verna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, actually, it only has 4 movement because it's a regular one. Oh, it has 3 base movement. +1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Next, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't go on an objective tile, right? So I think it goes there. Sorry, this is getting outrageous. And then attacks my Deathwalker for a crit miss. Yay! That is the crit miss in the monster deck too. Wait, no, it isn't. It's a curse. Okay, that's all of them. Good grief. Bone Shaper is going to... Honestly, I think I'm passing my turn. I'll use the top half of Dark Tidings and the bottom half of Decaying Will and exhaust both of them and get 1 experience from both of those things. And then the Snow Imps, they are doing Rotten Sting. These ones will move toward me. This one will move away and shoot at my Deathwalker. Deathwalker has to burn a card. But at the end of the round, when the character who looted the Mammoth Bark ends their turn adjacent to the pot, read 162.2. If this isn't the end of the mission, holy shit. 162.2. You look at the ingredients you have, the fire pepper, the axe nut, and the pieces of the mammoth bark. You lay them out next to the boiling cauldron and take a look at the recipe scrap. It seems needlessly complicated, but you look to Nor and get only a non-committal shrug. You'll have to figure this out on your own. Why did it rotate so it's upside down now? What the fuck? Don't do that. I didn't ask you to do that. Oh, it's just like a little linear equation thing. A number xyz points to xy point z. Fire plus axe plus lumber is 24. . We'll do this in Verna's thing since Verna's exhausted. Fire plus axe plus bark is 24. Bark minus chili? Sorry. That's not, it's axe knot. Axe knot minus chili minus bark is 7. Chili plus bark equals 28. And fire minus bark is 4. Okay, cool. I have to go. I need to go. I will work this out in my own time, probably. And I will see you all tomorrow. Or maybe later tonight. Probably tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. This mission was wild. I really hope, if I get this right, we can leave. Bye-bye, everybody. Be well.